Forbidden Zone was supposed to be empty until Recon team found 6-foot Moth-Winged scientist hiding there, HFY. Sergeant Cole Mitchell's Recon team stumbled into the Forbidden Zone everyone said was empty. Turns out it wasn't empty at all, just home to a 6-foot Moth-Winged alien scientist who'd been hiding there for 5 years and really didn't appreciate visitors. The radiation signatures made no sense. Sergeant Cole Mitchell studied his scanner for the 3rd time, hoping the readings would somehow change and start making sense. They didn't. According to every survey done in the past decade, Sector 7 Gamma was a lifeless wasteland, scorched by ancient weapons and too toxic for anything to survive. According to his scanner, something in there was generating power. A lot of power. And it was moving. Thoughts, Sarge? Corporal Davies asked, checking his rifle's charge for the 4th time in as many minutes. The big man was nervous, which was never a good sign. Davies didn't get nervous easily. Thoughts are we are looking at either a malfunction or something very interesting, Cole replied. At 37, he'd been doing recon long enough to know that very interesting in a forbidden zone usually meant very dangerous. Command wants eyes on whatever's generating that signature. We go in quiet, observe, report back. No engagement unless absolutely necessary. Remind me again why we always get the weird assignments. Private Chen muttered, adjusting her pack. Because we are too competent for our own good, Cole said with a slight grin. Davies, take point. Chen, watch our 6. Standard spread formation. And remember, Forbidden Zone means shoot first, ask questions later is actually authorized here. But let's try not to if we can help it. They moved into Sector 7 Gamma as the planet's red sun reached its zenith. The landscape was exactly as described. Barren, rocky, with the occasional twisted metal structure jutting from the ground like bones of some ancient civilization. The air tasted wrong even through their helmet filters, metallic and bitter. The power signature grew stronger as they advanced. Cole's tactical display showed it emanating from what looked like a small structure built into the side of a cliff face. Camouflaged well enough that orbital scans had missed it, but not well enough to hide from boots on the ground. Hold position, Cole whispered into the comm, I'm seeing movement. Windows on the structure. Something inside. Through his scope, Cole could make out details. The structure was more sophisticated than it had appeared from a distance. Someone had built this place deliberately, using materials that wouldn't show up on most scans. And in one of the windows, a shadow passed. Definitely something living. Contact the base, Cole ordered Chen. Let them know we've found. The comm crackled with static, then died completely. All their comms, simultaneously. Jammer, Davies said, which Cole had already figured out. Military grade. Whatever's in there knows we are here and doesn't want us calling for backup. Cole made a decision. They could fall back, report in person, and lose whatever intelligence was available. Or they could move forward and find out what was worth jamming communications over. We advance, he said. Weapons ready but not aimed. If something wanted us dead, we'd already be dead. The jammer is a defensive move, not offensive. They approached the structure carefully, Cole in the lead now. As they got closer, he could see the structure's door, or what he assumed was a door. It was circular, made of some dark material that seemed to absorb light. The door opened before they reached it. Standing in the entrance was an alien Cole had never seen before in 15 years of military service. She, definitely female, despite the alien features, stood about 6 feet tall with pale skin that had a faint luminescent quality, like she generated her own light. But what caught Cole's attention were the wings. Massive moth-like wings folded against her back, easily 8 feet across, covered in intricate patterns of gray, white, and subtle rainbow iridescence. Her face was humanoid enough to be expressive, large eyes that were entirely black like pools of ink, delicate features, antennae that rose from her forehead and moved with obvious purpose. She wore something like a lab coat over what appeared to be practical work clothes, and she was holding what Cole's combat experience immediately identified as a weapon, though unlike any he'd seen before. Human soldiers, she said, her voice coming through their helmet speakers despite the jammer. Probably broadcasting on a frequency that bypassed normal comms. Her accent was precise, clinical. You are trespassing in designated forbidden zone. Departure is strongly recommended. Cole slowly raised his hands, signaling his team to do the same. I'm Sergeant Cole Mitchell, Earth Defense Force. We detected unusual power signatures and were sent to investigate. We mean no harm. The alien's antennae twitched in what might have been skepticism. Your species always means no harm. Yet you arrive armed, in military formation, scanning my home with your primitive equipment. Fair point, Cole acknowledged. But if we'd meant harm, we'd have already fired. We are recon, not assault. Our job is to observe and report, not engage. The alien studied them for a long moment, her black eyes unreadable. Finally, she lowered her weapon slightly. I am Dr. Lyria Vess, formerly of the Aetherian Scientific Institute. I have been living in this location for 5 of your years. I have committed no crimes against your species. I simply wish to be left alone to continue my research. Research in a forbidden zone? Davies asked, unable to help himself. Lyria's wings fluttered slightly, creating a soft rustling sound. The forbidden zone status is precisely why I chose this location. No one bothers me here. No interruptions. No politics. Just science. Cole's mind was racing. An Aetherian scientist, living alone in a forbidden zone for 5 years. The Aetherians were known throughout the Commonwealth as one of the most advanced species. Their technology was centuries ahead of humanity's. Finding one here, alone, was significant. Dr. Vess, Cole said carefully, we are going to need to report your presence. That's non-negotiable. But how that report reads depends on this conversation. Are you a threat to Earth interests? I am threat to no one, Lyria said firmly. My research is theoretical. I study energy patterns, quantum fluctuations, non-military applications of field theory. Nothing weaponizable. Nothing dangerous. I chose isolation to avoid complications from my former colleagues. Complications? Chen asked. Lyria's antennae drooped slightly. My research was deemed impractical by the Institute. Resources were redirected to military projects. I disagreed with this direction strongly. When I continued my work against Institute directives, I became problematic. So I left. Found this place. Have been undisturbed until today. Cole understood the subtext. She'd defied her superiors, possibly stolen equipment to continue unauthorized research, and gone rogue. That made her either a criminal or a refugee, depending on how you looked at it. I need to contact my command, Cole said. Make a report. They'll want to talk to you. Your communications are blocked, Lyria pointed out. By your jammer, which you're going to turn off. Lyria's wings fluttered again, more agitated this time. If I do that, your command will send troops. Will force me to leave. Will confiscate my research. 5 years of work, lost. Or, Cole said, an idea forming, you work with us. Share your research with Earth scientists. We provide you with protection, resources, official sanction to continue your work. Everybody wins. Humans are not known for honoring such agreements, Lyria said skeptically. Some humans aren't, Cole agreed. But I am. And I'm offering you a chance to not be arrested or forced out. Your choice, Doctor. Lyria studied him with those bottomless black eyes for what felt like an eternity. Then she stepped aside. Come inside. I will show you my work. You will see I am no threat. Then we negotiate terms. Cole signaled his team to lower their weapons completely as they entered Lyria's laboratory. The interior was surprisingly spacious, carved deep into the cliff. Equipment lined the walls, some of it recognizable, most of it completely alien. Holographic displays showed equations and models Cole couldn't begin to understand. Everything was meticulously organized, the domain of someone who spent their time alone focused entirely on their work. Impressive, Chen said, looking around with wide eyes. It is adequate for my needs, Lyria said, moving to one of the displays. This is my primary research. I am studying the nature of quantum entanglement as it relates to consciousness. Theoretical work that suggests thoughts themselves create measurable quantum effects. Cole listened as Lyria explained her work, or tried to. Most of it went over his head, but he understood enough to see she was brilliant. And genuinely passionate about science in a way that reminded him of the best researchers he'd encountered. This is why they called you impractical? Davies asked. This seems pretty important. Military applications were not immediately apparent. Lyria said bitterly. Therefore it was deemed non-priority. The Institute wanted weapons, defenses. I wanted to understand the universe. These things were incompatible. Cole made his decision. Chen, go outside. Get clear of the jammer range. Contact base. Tell them we've made first contact with a non-hostile scientist. Request permission to bring her in for formal diplomatic discussion. Sarge. Chen asked, surprised. Do it. That's an order. After Chen left, Cole turned to Lyria. I'm taking a risk on you, Doctor. Because I've seen enough of this galaxy to know that sometimes the people who just want to be left alone to do their work are the ones worth protecting. But you need to work with me here. Lyria's antennae swept forward in what Cole was learning meant focused attention. Why do you help me? Your orders were to investigate and report. You have done this. Your duty is complete. My duty is to protect Earth's interests, Cole corrected. And having an Aetherian scientist willingly sharing research with us is definitely in Earth's interests. Also, he added, I was a physics major before I enlisted. Dropped out, but I remember enough to know your work is revolutionary. The kind of thing that could change everything. That's worth protecting. You were scientist. Lyria seemed surprised. Wanted to be. Life had other plans. Long story involving debt and bad decisions. Cole smiled slightly. But I never stopped being curious. That's why I volunteered for Recon. Get to see things no one else does. Lyria studied him with renewed interest. You are unusual for military personnel. Most soldiers I have encountered are not interested in theoretical science. Most scientists I've encountered aren't hiding in forbidden zones, Cole countered. Guess we are both unusual. Something that might have been a smile crossed Lyria's delicate features. Perhaps this is true. Chen returned after 20 minutes. Base wants us to bring her in, Sarge. But they are nervous. Dr. Vess, they're asking if you're willing to come voluntarily. No restraints, no force. They want to make this official and proper. Lyria's wings fluttered anxiously. And if I refuse? Then we'll file our report and leave, Cole said, before Chen could answer. I'm not forcing anyone into anything. But I think you'd be better off with official protection than hiding out here hoping no one else finds you. Your superiors may not honor the agreement you propose, Lyria pointed out. That's why I'm going to be there to make sure they do, Cole said. You accept Earth protection. I personally oversee that you're treated properly. That's my word. Davies and Chen both looked at Cole like he'd lost his mind. Making personal guarantees to alien refugees was not standard protocol. But Cole had spent 15 years following protocols, and sometimes protocols weren't the right answer. Lyria's antennae performed a complex series of movements. You stake your reputation on this? Your career? If that's what it takes. After a long moment, Lyria nodded. Then I accept. But I bring my primary research equipment. And I require private laboratory space. And I will not participate in weapons development. These are my terms. I'll make sure they are in the agreement, Cole promised. The transport back to base was interesting. Lyria spent most of the flight examining their equipment with scientific fascination, asking questions about human technology that revealed just how advanced Aetherian knowledge was. She could look at their quantum drive and immediately spot 3 ways it could be improved. Your species is very inventive, she observed, studying a datapad. Crude, but inventive. You compensate for lack of advanced knowledge with clever engineering. We are good at making things work with duct tape and stubbornness, Cole agreed. Lyria's antennae tilted. Duct tape. Human thing. I'll explain later. At the base, the reception was cautious but professional. Commander Hayes met them personally, along with the science team. Cole gave his report, emphasizing Lyria's willingness to cooperate and the potential value of her research. Dr. Vess, Hayes said, studying the tall Aetherian with her magnificent wings. Sergeant Mitchell speaks highly of you. But I need assurances. You're a foreign national, essentially, living illegally in our territory. Why should we trust you? You should not, Lyria said bluntly. Trust is earned through time and demonstrated behavior. I offer instead a transaction. I provide knowledge. You provide resources and protection from those who would interrupt my work. This is mutual benefit, not trust. Hayes actually smiled at that. Fair enough. We'll draw up a formal agreement. But Doctor, you'll be assigned a military liaison. Someone to help you navigate our bureaucracy and ensure both parties honor the arrangement. I accept this, Lyria said. Then her antennae focused on Cole. I request Sergeant Mitchell as liaison. He understands my work better than others present. And he has already proven capable of negotiating fairly. Cole felt every eye in the room turn to him. Hayes raised an eyebrow. Sergeant Mitchell is a field operative, not a scientist liaison. Nevertheless, this is my preference, Lyria insisted. I will be more comfortable working with someone I have already established communication with. Hayes looked at Cole. Your thoughts, Sergeant? Cole knew this would mean a completely different assignment than his normal recon work. Babysitting a scientist instead of exploring unknown territories. But looking at Lyria, at her obvious discomfort with all the attention, at the way her wings kept twitching nervously, he found himself nodding. I'll do it, sir. If Dr. Vess is comfortable with me, that's half the battle in making this arrangement work. Very well, Hayes said. Sergeant Mitchell, as of now you're officially assigned as Dr. Vess's military liaison. Help her get set up, make sure she has what she needs, and keep me informed of any issues. Dismissed. The next 3 weeks were an education in just how different humans and Aetherians were. Lyria required very little sleep, maybe 3 hours a night, but needed regular exposure to specific light frequencies or she became lethargic. She was vegetarian, but her definition of vegetables included things Cole would have classified as rocks. She was brilliant, easily the smartest person Cole had ever met, but completely baffled by basic human social conventions. Why do humans waste time asking how are you when they do not want detailed answers? She asked one day in her new laboratory. This seems inefficient. It's a social ritual, Cole explained, helping her calibrate some equipment he barely understood. We are checking if the other person wants to talk about problems or just wants acknowledgement. This is needlessly complex, Lyria muttered, but her antennae tilted in what Cole had learned meant she was filing the information away for future reference. They fell into a routine. Cole would arrive each morning to find Lyria already working, having been up for hours. They'd go over her schedule, handle any administrative issues that had cropped up, and then Cole would usually end up helping with her experiments despite having no official scientific training. You have good instincts, Lyria told him one afternoon when he'd correctly predicted the outcome of one of her tests. You see patterns. This is gift. Just common sense, Cole said, but he was pleased by the compliment. Common sense is not common, Lyria countered. Most of your species are quite foolish. You are less foolish than average. Cole laughed. Dr. Vess, was that a compliment? Her antennae performed what might have been embarrassment. Perhaps. Aetherians are not skilled at social pleasantries. I may have expressed appreciation poorly. No, it was good. I'll take less foolish than average. They were working late one evening. Lyria didn't really keep normal hours, when the power suddenly cut out. Emergency lights activated, bathing the lab in red illumination. Generator failure? Cole asked, immediately moving to check the systems. No, Lyria said, her wings spreading slightly in agitation. Her whole body began to glow with soft bioluminescence, providing additional light. External power cutoff. Deliberate. Cole's combat instincts kicked in. Stay here. Lock the door after I leave. Where are you going? To find out who cut the power and why. He found the answer in the corridor outside. 3 figures in tactical gear, not Earth military. Mercenaries, probably, based on the mismatched equipment. One of them spotted Cole and raised a weapon. Cole moved on pure instinct, years of training taking over. He disarmed the first attacker with a precise strike, used the stolen weapon to drop the second, and had the third in a restrained hold before reinforcements could arrive. Who sent you? Cole demanded, the mercenary in his grip laughed. Aetherian Institute wants their scientist back. Property of the Institute, they said. Worth a lot of money. Cole felt fury surge through him. They weren't here to kill Lyria. They were here to kidnap her, drag her back to people who'd only value her for weapons development. Not happening. The base security arrived, summoned by the power disruption. Cole handed off the intruders and rushed back to Lyria's lab. She was standing in the center of the room, wings fully extended in defensive posture, her bioluminescence at maximum. She looked terrified. "It's okay," Cole said quickly. "Threats contained. You're safe." Lyria's wings slowly folded as she recognized him. "They came for me. The Institute found me. And we stopped them," Cole assured her. "You're under Earth protection now. Anyone who wants to take you has to go through us. Through me." "You fought for me," Lyria said, her voice carrying an emotion Cole couldn't quite identify. "You were injured." She gestured to a cut on his arm he hadn't even noticed. "It's nothing." "It is not nothing." Lyria moved closer, examining the wound with her black eyes. "You risked harm to protect me. Why?" "Because that's what I promised," Cole said simply. "I told you I'd make sure you were treated properly. That includes keeping you safe." Lyria's antennae swept forward, almost touching his face. "Humans are very strange. You make promises that benefit you not at all. You fight for others without calculating gain. This is irrational behavior." "Maybe," Cole agreed. "But it's who we are. Humanity, fuck yeah, and all that." "This phrase," Lyria said. "I have heard it before. Your species uses it to express pride in irrationality?" "We use it to express pride in doing what's right even when it's hard," Cole corrected. "In being stubborn enough to make impossible things work. In protecting people who need it." Lyria was very close now, her luminescent skin casting a soft glow in the darkened lab. "You protect me because you think it is right. Not for reward. Not for advancement. Just because you believe it proper." "Yes. This is very human," Lyria observed. Her hand reached out, delicate fingers touching his face gently. "I find I quite like this about your species. About you specifically." Cole's breath caught. They were standing inches apart, this brilliant alien scientist with her moth wings and luminescent skin, looking at him with those bottomless black eyes. "Dr. Vess, Lyria," she corrected. "We have moved beyond formality, I think." "Lyria," Cole said, acutely aware of her touch, her closeness. "This is probably inadvisable. You're under my protection. There are protocols about." "I do not care about protocols," Lyria said firmly. "Protocols are why I left the Institute. Protocols are rules created by those who fear uncertainty. But science is about exploring uncertainty. About testing hypotheses." "What hypothesis are you testing?" Cole asked, his voice rough. "Whether human Aetherian connections can transcend physical differences," Lyria said softly. "Whether touch can communicate what words cannot. Whether," she hesitated, her bioluminescence flickering slightly, "whether I have developed feelings inappropriate for research colleague." Cole's hand came up to cover hers on his face. "For what it's worth, I've been having inappropriate feelings for about 2 weeks now. Tried to ignore them. Didn't work." "Your human stubbornness," Lyria suggested, and Cole could swear she was almost smiling. "Something like that." They stood in the darkened lab, two beings from different worlds who'd found something neither had expected. Lyria's wings slowly wrapped around them both, creating a private space, and when she leaned down to press her forehead against his, the Aetherian equivalent of a kiss, Cole would learn. He understood that some connections didn't need words at all. 6 months later, Lyria's research had advanced in ways that impressed even the most skeptical Earth scientists. Her work on quantum consciousness had led to breakthroughs in communication technology that were already being tested for deep space applications. The Institute's attempts to reclaim her had been formally denied by Earth's diplomatic corps, and Lyria had been granted official refugee status with a permanent research position. Cole had been promoted to lieutenant, assigned permanently as Lyria's liaison and head of her security detail. Some said it was nepotism. Cole preferred to think he'd just found his place doing something that mattered. They were in the lab late one evening, always late evenings with Lyria, when she turned from her work to look at him. "I have been thinking," she said, her antennae performing contemplative movements. "Dangerous?" Cole teased. "Indeed. I have been thinking about that first day, when you found me in the Forbidden Zone. If I had not let you inside, if I had remained hidden, what would have happened?" Cole considered. "Eventually someone else would have found you. Might not have gone as well." "Yes," Lyria agreed. "I was fortunate. The human who found me was one who understood curiosity. who valued knowledge over protocol, who chose to protect rather than capture. You were pretty lucky, Cole agreed with a grin. Lyria crossed to where he sat, her wings creating gentle drafts as she moved. I do not believe in luck. I believe in probability. And the probability of finding someone like you, someone who would become colleague and friend and perhaps more, was infinitesimally small. Yet it happened. Universe works in mysterious ways, Cole said. The universe works according to quantum mechanics and probability fields, Lyria corrected primly. But then her expression softened, as much as Aetherian features could. But perhaps sometimes, the improbable outcomes are the most valuable. She settled beside him, her wing extending to wrap around his shoulders in a gesture that had become comfortingly familiar. They sat in companionable silence, watching equations scroll across holographic displays, and Cole reflected on the strange path that had led him here, from Recon Sergeant to scientific liaison. From finding a trespasser to protecting a refugee. From duty to something much more personal. You know, Cole said, when we first met, you said humans always mean no harm but arrive armed anyway. I remember. This was accurate observation. Want to know something funny? You were right. We did mean no harm. But we absolutely would have caused it if we'd been less careful. Shows up armed, makes everything more complicated. Yes, Lyria agreed. But you also showed up curious. Willing to talk before shooting. This is also very human. This contradiction is what makes your species interesting. Interesting? Cole asked. That's all we are. Lyria's bioluminescence increased slightly, something Cole had learned happened when she was feeling emotion strongly. You are many things, Cole Mitchell. Interesting is merely starting point. Good to know, Cole said, pulling her closer. Because you're many things too, Lyria Vess. Brilliant. Stubborn. Beautiful in a weird alien way that I probably shouldn't find as attractive as I do. Weird alien way. Lyria's antennae tilted in mock offense. You have moth wings and black eyes and glow in the dark. It's objectively weird. Also objectively amazing. Human standards of beauty are very strange, Lyria observed. But she was smiling, he could tell now, even though Aetherian expressions were subtle. But I find I quite like being appreciated for my weirdness. They sat together in the lab, surrounded by equipment that was changing human understanding of the universe, and Cole knew with absolute certainty that stumbling into that forbidden zone had been the best accident of his life. Some discoveries you made with scanners and sensors. Others you made by being in the right place at the right time, and being smart enough to recognize something valuable when you found it. Cole had found something valuable that day. And he had no intention of ever letting it go.